I have to admit, there were good, at a certain point. I'm like, have I gone too far?
No, I loved it. I loved it. I learned a few things, but it covers. I cover the important points, just like you. So. Yeah, no, we'll just talk about it. I can talk about it for an hour.
We're just going to talk about your music, the cigar box craze or resurgence. I don't really like to call it a craze.
I like resurgence.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's just
too.
People are discovering, an instrument that has a really interesting history, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, people who couldn't afford guitars or were deprived, right? People of color, musicians of color, right?
See, I didn't pick up on that part.
The more I read about it, the more I'm like, okay, this was a way for people to make their own instruments.
Oh, definitely,
When they were literally blocked, like, you cannot do this. We won't let you, right? I mean, of course, you're also talking about time periods. In the South when it was really, awful. In terms of racism, among other things.
Yeah.
But so people were incredibly inventive in order to make music.
All the old blues players that I know of that played cigar box, they're all black.
Yeah. Well,
Jimi Hendrix is the most famous one you can probably is Jimi Hendrix. And Carl Perkins apparently also started on the cigar box.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, I put that on the back of my thing. But anyway, we'll talk about cigar box guitars and music.
Let me set up a couple of things. Forgive me if I turn my back to you.
Oh, no, you got.
I'm not in any way trying to be rude.
You got work to do.
But let's see. Well, let me now. It still won't. Okay. Computer's just being a little weird on me today, but that's okay because I will win. Gosh, oftentimes I can tell when something went wrong in somebody's studio. It's like, oh, I've had that problem. Let's see. Who do I like here? I think I'm gonna go with Keith. And then let's see. Do you want to jump into talking, or do you want to play a song first?
Let's go ahead and jump into talking first.
Okay. And then I was thinking like 3-string boogie is really nice as an early song.
That's what I'm gonna start with. So I'll do that, and I'll do Ain't Got Nobody Blues.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, as far as the playing.
Oh yeah. And then, I can pop in just about. I have the entire album.
Oh yeah. Well, I do want to play. I want to play Preacher Blues, but I want to play the album version. Okay. And that's because I was able to do harmonies and stuff like that I just can't do as an acoustic solo artist.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there's that, and there's a few other ones we can play. I mean, we can play any of them.
Because I just write a report that you came in and you played a number of your own songs.
Yeah.
If anything's a cover, just let me know so I can write that down.
Preaching Blues is a cover.
And yeah, it's not on the album. Okay, thank you. Is that the only cover?
On the album, there's 3 covers.
I'm sorry.
But as far as what we're doing,
yeah.
The 3 that I will play will be originals.
Okay, and then
we don't have. Let's see. Well, I was actually thinking about doing. Let's see.
Just let me know before you leave.
Yeah.
Just because we've got to add that in.
Yeah, I understand. One of them. Let's do One Kind Favorite. And that's a cover, but it's public domain. But it's still a cover. And then the other cover will be Preaching Blues, and then I'll do another original on the. So that's 6 songs altogether. 3 played and 3. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally flexible here.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just trying to figure out. Well, it's also what I can play on this guitar because I use different tunings. We'll get into that.
Of course.
That's why I have a double neck. Is because one's tuned to E and one's tuned to A. So I don't have to carry 2 guitars around.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You can wear headphones or not wear headphones. Totally your call.
I'll wear them.
So it'll bounce to the next hour. I'll start that. mics are hot. And I am here with my friend Max B Greene, who has a new album, Boxes Full of Blues. He's got a big release celebration this Thursday at the Yellow Cab Tavern with our friends Casey Ott and Eric Henry, our good pal Todd the Fox, Cigar Box Scott, and of course Max himself. Max, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in, and I really appreciate you reaching out. So we should start with the very beginning. So you were born in the log cabin your grandfather made.
Yeah. In Xenia.
Right. But no, how did you get started in music, Max?
I've always played music. I've always loved music. I was one of those little kids that would dance around, pretend to have a microphone, and singing whatever songs I knew, which weren't many at the time. But I've always played music. I started playing guitar when I was 15. Started playing keyboards probably earlier than that. Kind of got away from the keyboards because back in the day, we're talking about the 80s when I moved away from home. Mm-hmm. You couldn't buy a keyboard for like $50-$60 the way you can these days. It costs thousands of dollars to get a portable keyboard, and I just couldn't do one. So I started playing guitar more.
Now, did you grow up in a musical family?
Not really. My dad was an Air Force officer. My mom worked for the government. My brother is very musical, and I'm very musical. So we were the two musical people in the family. He actually got a degree from Ohio State in music. I didn't quite get that far, but I did go to Ohio State though. It was just the two of us for the most part. We always just loved music, and I've always wanted to play music. There have been times when I couldn't or just couldn't because I couldn't get anywhere or I was discouraged or whatever. But I always came back to it. It's just kind of a compulsion to play music, to write music, to take songs that I hear and rearrange them into something that I can play. And so it's always going through my head. So a compulsion is the best word I can think of for it.
Oh yeah. So you truly feel compelled. You truly feel called to do it.
Yeah. I can't get away from it. I've tried. It's
you've tried?
It's been like Spider-Man. Spider-Man in the comic books. He'll every once in a while they'll have I'm not to be Spider-Man anymore, and something else pulls him right back into it. Well, I'm the same way. I just can't get away from music. It's my superpower, I guess.
Well, first of all, points for the reference. Right. I love that idea that there's something about it that pulls you back.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the joy of creating something, of making something from nothing that pulled you back in?
I don't know. I know a lot of it is the rhythms and the patterns that I really like. I'm on the spectrum. And I really like patterns and rhythms. I used to work with loopers a lot. So I would like repetitive phrases played over and over and over again, and I would jam over them and create songs out of that. But I really like pattern, and I was very good at math too. And so the music and to me, music and math kind of almost go together in the way the patterns lay out and things fit together. But music is also an art. There's so much subjectivity to it, as opposed to the objectivity of the math, the interrelationship of the intervals and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then you've got how those intervals make you feel. And, so I don't know. It's just, I just always loved it. I can't get away from it.
Right. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome. We have Max B Greene here in the studio. He has a new album, Boxes Full of Blues, a celebration at the Yellow Cab Tavern this Thursday. And he brought a cigar box guitar with him. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong about this, Max, but all the songs on the CD incorporate in one way or another a cigar box guitar?
All the songs are played on 3-string cigar box, handmade cigar box guitars. Now, I didn't make all of them. I made this one that I've got with me. It's double neck. But they're all on cigar box guitars. They're all 3 strings. I did that one. I really love the 3-string. And 2, I kind of wanted to show people that you can really make, these aren't just toys. Mm-hmm. You know, you can really make really great music with it. Now, this is basically a studio album with a 3-piece, so it's drums, bass, and guitar, and vocals. But yeah, they're all cigar box guitars. They're all on 3, and they're all 3-string cigar box guitars.
So what pulled you to it was you wanted to show that you could make incredible music with this particular instrument?
Yeah, and part of it is this is all I play now.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
yeah. I haven't touched a 6-string in like 4 years.
Wow.
And I just don't want to play them anymore. And that may be also part of it. It may be being on the spectrum, because you get obsessions. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this has become my obsession. I really, I first ran across a YouTube video, I think it was, back in 2020, like the summer of 2020, of the cigar box guitar, and it was like, it just like lightning struck. Yeah. And I had to get one. I finally got one, and it was a real piece of garbage. But it got me hooked, and I looked at what this guy did, and I figured that, you know, this was so sloppy that I could do it. And so I started building my own cigar box guitars. This is number 20 that I built. It's a double neck, like I said. They're fun to play. They're fun to build. They're not that hard to play or build.
Oh, really?
It depends upon how far you get into it, because you can get, now the hardest thing is doing the frets, and, you know, getting everything level and getting the frets. You know, you can get templates for the spacing. That's not hard, but getting the frets level and everything so that you don't get frets fretting out, I think it's called. Yeah. Anyway. But also, the cool thing about it is they are an open tuning. So this is this particular one is in E, and it's E, B, E. So it's basically a power chord.
Yeah.
Now, it does not have the third, so you don't have to worry about the third anymore. But the thing is, you can play. I'm playing that with one finger. So you can play them with one finger. You can learn how to play any song, so you can pick them up and almost start playing them immediately.
That's incredible. So I'm also noticing that the way you play it has a certain kind of passion or enthusiasm. Do you think that that's different than, say, a 6-string guitar?
I don't know, because when I did the same thing when I was playing a 6-string, but I always did unusual guitars. I was playing with a baritone, not a regular 6-string when I was playing with a 6-string before. I am a baritone, for those of you who are in choir out there. I am a baritone, not a tenor. And so I tend to rearrange and put songs in keys that I can sing them in. I don't want to sit there and push it, and it doesn't sound good when you're, trying to string for this
pushing
high
past
notes.
your register. Yeah.
And so I put things in, the keys that work for me. And one of that was, I got a baritone guitar, and that's tuned fourth down. It's tuned down to B instead of an E.
Yeah.
And I would just play the regular chords, and it would just be a fourth down, like I could, play stuff. But I don't know. I think that passion just comes from the loving and the music and stuff like that. I just had somebody else recently say I play it like I mean it. So
I think that's true. Listening to the record, I think that's true, that passion comes through. And do you think that creating the cigar box, right, building and making them, as well as creating music, do you think that allows you to explore your passion or your emotions in a way that's more comfortable for you?
The creating is like putting together a puzzle of the well, actually either music or cigar boxes. For me, it's
like a logical puzzle.
Yeah. A lot of times it's a logical puzzle. And now I do a lot of blues, And so they're very formulaic as far as the chord progressions. And then you do whatever on top of those chord progressions. But I like I think that's part of this because I like that repetition. I like having the predictability and stuff like that.
Oh, I can see that, and especially even as a player, right? You're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
What's the next thing I need to do? What's the next phasing? What's the next phrase? Right? You're in a way you're needing to predict so that you can perform it as it comes along.
Yeah.
So there's always kind of looking into the future as a performer. And so having some consistency, I imagine, is comforting, or at least gives you at least a little bit of security.
And the comforting part is there, and it's for example, if I go to a jam, like an open jam, I'll only do blues songs because it's very hard. It's everybody knows what they are. They all know what the chords are. Everybody can do it. And if you're doing some rock song that somebody doesn't know, you got to explain the chords and all this other stuff. And for me, it's just easier with the predictability of the blues. But the thing is, there's so many things you can do with it, even just with that 12-bar.
Right,
and people don't really. I mean, to the 12-bar form is all throughout rock, and even like the Batman theme from the original Batman show, that was a 12-bar blues.
Yeah.
No. It was 12-bar blues. It was Batman, but it was 12-bar blues. And but yeah, the predictability is I like it. It's if I don't like getting on stage and playing a song I don't know. If someone like throws weird chords at me, it's like I can't do this. I'm too set in my ways, and I need some sort of predictability that I know what's going on, know what's going to happen,
Oh, absolutely. Max B Greene here in the studio. We're going to talk with him more about the instrument as well as his album and the CD release celebration this Thursday. That's October 5th. For those of you who need to write it on the calendar, 7:30 p.m. at Yellow Cab Tavern. Come on down. If you've not been to Yellow Cab Tavern, it's a great space. So, Max, I know you've worked up a few songs. Could you play something for us?
Yeah. This first song is the first cut off the album. It's called Three String Boogie. It's actually the newest song, the latest song that I wrote. And it's about making and playing cigar box guitars. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Take a box that has cigars, make me a three-string boogie guitar, made the neck out of wood, then a shape by hand, gonna use it to boogie all across the land. Got my three-string boogie, gonna boogie oogie all night long. It plays so dirty and it plays so mean, it's a doggone three-string boogie machine. Gonna play it all day, gonna play it all night, gonna boogie oogie oogie till the morning light. Got my three-string boogie, gonna boogie oogie all night long. Got my three-string boogie, 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 gonna boogie oogie all night long. have no bread, so to make music they had to use their head. They take an old cigar box and a stick and put them together just that quick. Add some baling wire for some strings, and man, they could make that guitar sing. Got my 3-string boogie, 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 gonna boogie oogie all night long. Got my 3-string boogie, 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 gonna boogie oogie all night long.
Max B Greene here in the studio. I've got to say, Max, that's full circle. You build the cigar box guitar, you write a song about the cigar box guitar and building it, and then you perform that. I think you've come full circle.
I do.
I'm just curious, was that a personal passion of yours to kind of be, and forgive me if this is too strong a word, like almost evangelical about like cigar box guitars?
Well, I have a vested interest in that. I make them, and I am starting to sell them. And so I freely admit to spreading the gospel of the cigar box guitars. I think everybody should have one, and they should buy it from me. But anyway, no, everybody should have one. You can get them all over the place. Yeah. I don't have my company set up yet, so you can't buy them from me yet anyway. But yeah, I feel very strongly about it, and I really want to spread the word about it. Get people interested in it. Like I said, they're easy to play. They're easy to build. If you want to build one, you can get a kit for like $30 or $50 and put one together. It won't be as good as this. And the thing about cigar box guitars is there are no rules.
Really?
There are no rules. You don't. Now I've got this tune, like I said, to like EBE. The most standard tuning is GDG. However, you don't have to do that. You could do, that's 151. You could do 153. You could do 135. You could do, whatever tuning you want to put on it, and however you want to make it. You can make it. There are absolutely no rules. Now, there are physical limitations in that you have to be able to play it. And I've gotten some guitars that I couldn't play, or seen some guitars that I actually didn't buy them. But yeah.
What was it? Forgive the interruption. What was it about the guitar that made it so, at least for you, that you couldn't play it?
I mean, physically, like the frets were off. I bought a guitar. The action was so high that I had to play with slide, even though it had frets on there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a big drawback. I knew that. But he had placed the bridge like 1 inch too far away from the headstock, which made the octave, for you guitar players out there, made that octave at the 13th fret, which doesn't work. And so I had to basically redo it and to make it work. I had to move the bridge. But I've had frets that, the necks were so bowed you couldn't play them. The frets were so bad you couldn't play them. I've got one now that he made them out of toothpicks, which is he made the frets out of toothpicks.
Really?
Which is an interesting choice, and it's a legitimate choice, and it's actually something that people would do back in the day because they couldn't, get metal frets. But after 3 weeks of playing, one of the frets is already starting to splinter on me.
See, that's what I was thinking, is that it'd be tough for it to take that much pressure.
They're going to end up splintering, and also you have to level the frets, and that involves a lot of sanding with a level and stuff like that. And I don't know if you can do that with the toothpick frets. Yeah. And they're also glued on there. I'm more worried they're going to pop off. So, I mean, like I said, you can do anything. However, some stuff works better than others.
Sure. No, that makes total sense to me. Well, just using the toothpick is a great example of that.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's an interesting idea. It's a legitimate choice. It's not one I'll ever make. But I don't regret buying the guitar just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
You know, just so I can say I know what a toothpick guitar is like. I'm not going to do it. I tried to make a guitar with nails, finishing nails as frets. And
so the length end.
Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, you have to sand them to level the frets. Mm-hmm. And I was spending hours sanding because this is the frets that I have. Normal frets are made out of like silver nickel, so they're relatively soft and easy to sand. These are hardened metal, and so it took me forever. And then I would get it till it was right, and then one would pop off because they were just glued on there, and I had to start over. Anyway, I finally gave up. But yeah, like I said, you can do anything. You can do anything. You tune it any way you want. You can play it anyway. You can play any kind of music you want on it. Now, I play a lot of blues. I also play a lot of rock, just because that's what I like. Cigar Box Scott, who's going to be at the show, he plays a lot of folk music, a lot of bluegrass, a lot of really old stuff like, I keep saying 17th century, it might have been 18th century dance tunes, you know, and they're still dance tunes. They still got a beat, you know, but you can do anything you want with them, pretty much. They're incredible.
Max B Greene here in the studio. He has a brand new record, Boxes Full of Blues. He has a celebration of his new music this Thursday at the Yellow Cab Tavern with our friends Casey Ott, Eric Henry, Todd the Fox, and as we were just talking about, Cigar Box Scott, and of course Max himself. 7:30 at Yellow Cab. Definitely, if you have the time, go. If you don't have the time, make the time and go. But I'm curious, Max, what was the first cigar box guitar that you played? Was that one you built, or was that one that somebody else built?
That was the one somebody else built. I got it off of eBay for $75.
Wow, that's cheap.
It was really cheap.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was looking at the kits, and the kits I was looking at, it would have cost me that much just to get a kit.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, I got this guitar, and this guy, he makes them, and like I said, there's no rules. But he cuts a lot of corners when he makes them. Mm. And I could tell that, especially now that I've built them. But it was just not a very good guitar. It was $75 guitar, you know. But it was playable, and it did get me started on, you know, it got me hooked on them.
Yeah.
Because once I did it, and I did some major, like I changed the pickup in it because I didn't like the pickup. I changed the pickup and stuff like that. But like I said, it was so badly built that I was like, I figured if this guy can do it, then I can do it. And the first one I built was much better than the one he built. But it still had problems. Now, you know, I've refined my technique now, and I'm branching out. I just made a guitar out of copper pipes as a steampunk.
I love that.
It's a steampunk inspired guitar. Yeah. It's got copper pipes and pressure gauges and a red faucet handle for the volume knob, and it's really awesome.
Oh, that's cool. Will you bring that to the show?
I actually will bring it. I actually will bring it. I will bring it on Thursday. I probably will not play it, but I'm going to bring some guitars to show off.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I will bring that one and a few other ones that I have built, and I'll bring this one. And I've got a Batmobile that I got from these people down in Cincinnati. Am I allowed to mention them?
You are.
Okay, Don't Fret Guitars. There you go, Devin. Don't Fret Guitars in Cincinnati. They make some awesome cigar box and other guitars. Their specialty is making stuff out of found objects.
Okay.
And so I will buy hardware from there are a couple of suppliers for cigar box guitars, and I will buy, you know, box corners and sound hole, but they'll use like spatulas for the tailpiece and stuff, and it's really great stuff. They're awesome guitars. And he made me a Millennium Falcon guitar out of a Millennium Falcon toy that will never leave my house because I just don't want anything to happen to it.
Right.
But the Batmobile guitar I will bring out Thursday. I may or may not play it. We'll see. But you can make guitars out of anything. Especially electric guitars. Mm-hmm. When you try to make them acoustic, then you've got a whole another thing going on. But For electric, you could take a 2x4 and put a pickup on it and a jack and some strings, and you've got a guitar. All it needs is the strings and the pickup. And some, you don't even need frets. My steampunk guitar doesn't have frets on it. And I've got a shovel guitar I play. I like to play shovel guitar too. So
this is fascinating.
And you'll see all that on Thursday if you come out.
There you go.
On Thursday at Yellow Cab.
There's extra incentive. Well, I should play something from the record that maybe you're not going to play here. Is there a song from the album that you'd recommend?
Well, let's try with I was actually going to have this be the lead track, but that was before I wrote this other song. Let's try Preachin' Blues. I really like that one. And that is I really like it because I did it in the studio. This is all recorded at my house. But I was able to put in a bunch of vocals that I cannot normally do. So this is a blues song. It's an old Sun House tune that was recently redone by a duo called Larkin Poe, for those of you young folks out there.
Yeah.
And that's how I heard it. So this is my version of the Larkin Poe version of the Sun House tune, Preachin' Blues.
And we're clear. You're a great interview.
I'm sorry, what?
You're a great interview.
Oh, thanks. I try.
You do more than try. You're succeeding. Oh gosh. Hi folks on Facebook. How we doing today? Hey Todd. How you doing, my friend? Hey Joe. Hey Suzanne. Hey Dave. Hey Mark. Hey Jim. Oh my gosh. I feel like are we gonna go through all the biblical names here? Yeah, I really appreciate you coming in.
Sure.
Before you leave, I'll have to ask you to sign. I get people to sign drum heads and stuff. And if you don't mind, I'll whip out the camera and take a few photos of the guitar, if that's okay.
That's fine. All the publicity I can get. So.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the. So it's like a what do we call it? A bat car, the Batmobile.
Oh no, it's a Batmobile. It's an actual toy. That's the body.
Yeah.
And he has a neck coming through it, and it actually has the lid, the cavity comes up. There's a Batman sitting inside of it. I mean, dude, it's an awesome little.
I love that. I love that idea.
Well, the Millennium Falcon is awesome. I mean, it's a huge toy.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's got a radar dish on there that is the volume knob.
Oh, okay.
Which is incredible. Oh. But I'm afraid it's going to break off.
Yeah.
Plus it cost me $1,000.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
This was a custom order.
Yeah.
This was a custom. The Batman wheel was like $300, which is much more recent.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Millennium Falcon. But now he's making more. It's one of his popular. But that's cool.
Well, people see that. All the Star Wars nerds.
Not only that, but he's got lights. He's got the fret markers are LEDs.
Really?
And so it lights up.
Yeah.
It's
this sounds like a heck of a beautiful. It
sounds
like artwork to me.
It is. But see, the thing is, his thing is, the artwork first.
Yeah.
Then the playability.
Oh, okay.
And mine is the playability first. Then the artwork.
Well, I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, you're a musician. You want to be able to make music.
And he's not a guitar player.
Yeah.
He's not a guitar player.
Pardon me. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, let's see if I can find this. But yeah, he does make incredible stuff. And he's kind of my competition.
In terms of building guitars.
Sort of building and selling. Although, like I said, I don't have my website set up yet. I'm trying to find pictures of that Millennium Falcon. Oh, I got him. Here we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
And he's got buttons on there. This is the last verse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no worries. About 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's impressive that he used the radar dish for the.
Yeah, and he's got sound effects on there too.
Oh, the Falcon taking off.
Exactly, and lasers and quotes from the movie.
Oh,
it just blows my mind. He's got like 30 sound clips on there.
Mics are hot. Max B Greene here in the studio and in the music for you today. He is here to talk about his brand new record, Boxes Full of Blues, that is all the guitar on that album was made using cigar box guitars. He has a show, part of the Yellow Cab Showcase, which we tip our hat to our good friend Windsor Knotts, who does an incredible job every Thursday with the showcase. But this Thursday showcase is going to be a special treat. You've got tons of great guitar players: Casey Ott, Eric Henry, Todd the Fox, Cigar Box Scott, of course Max B Greene. Thursday, 7:30 p.m. I recommend getting there early so that you can grab yourself some Pizza Bandit and just relax, and then a night of great music. I've got to ask you, Max, you probably have already seen our blog post where I did, my academic side came out, and I was really just blown away. I knew, of course, cigar box guitars had a long history. I didn't know how many well-known or just well-regarded guitarists and musicians used or started off on cigar boxes.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most famous one, like I said, said to you earlier, is Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Carl Perkins is another one. And a lot of those old blues cats, that's how they got started. But they couldn't afford to do anything else. Jimmy said in an interview somewhere, he couldn't get a guitar. He couldn't afford it. And so he got a cigar box and a stick, put them together, put some wire on it, and made himself a guitar. And that's how he got started. So it's a very honored tradition. It's the revival of this started maybe back in the 90s.
Yeah, it seems to be.
And it started, and I'm going to give this guy a shout out by this guy named Shane Spiel, who calls himself the king of cigar box guitars, and I will gladly let him have that title because he started making and promoting cigar box guitars 30 years ago, and he's still doing it. He's an incredible guitar player. But he's really been pushing this genre and this particular instrument, and the idea of making your own instruments. He's put out a couple books called Poor Man's Instruments and stuff like that, showing how you can make like a wash tub bass and all sorts of stuff. You can make instruments out of anything, and they used to. They because it's not like today where they've got everything mass manufactured and you can buy a guitar for $60 or something like that. But it has no soul. It's just mass manufactured, in some factory in China somewhere, and there's nothing special to it at all. But each cigar box is unique because they're all handmade. They're all have the particular builder's personality put into it. Like I said, my friends in Cincinnati, they make great guitars, but they make them differently than I do. I have different ideas on them than they do, and so and that's cool, because if you want one of their guitars, get one of theirs, and then buy one of mine.
Well, I just need to ask: was the history something that was a further motivation for you to connect to that, or to keep some of that history alive?
No, it was, to me, the fascination is the music, and it's like I said earlier, it's kind of a puzzle figuring out how to play things on the cigar box guitar, because they're not tuned like a regular guitar. There's some similarities, but there's a lot that aren't. And it's both more simple and it is more complex. For example, if you're playing more complex chords like a 7 or a 9 chord, well, a 9 chord has 5 tones and you've only got 3 strings.
Right.
So when I'm doing one, I'm doing. Oh, wait a minute, if I can do it. That's a 9 chord, which sounds terrible just by itself.
Yeah.
But when you're playing, if I can get it. If you do it like at the end of a song and use it in context, it works. Even though it doesn't have the third and the fifth, it just has all these dissonant tones in there. And so, like I said, it's more complex because you have to figure out how to play the stuff with it. But you can play just about anything. Which is the beginning of Pride and Joy. And you can play just about, like I said, you can play anything you want. Now it is kind of well suited for blues. I do a lot of slide. My next song will be a slide song. Actually, Preaching Blues was a slide song. But it also, I've seen a lot of heavy metal guys because it's basically a power chord. You know, it's if you go into drop D, you know, you've got that 1-5-1 on the bottom 3 strings on a guitar, and so it's very useful for heavy metal and stuff like that, or country. I've seen country blues. I've seen country everything on here. They're unlimited, you know, even though they're only have 3 strings, and they're easy to start playing, and then you can get as complex as you want. You know.
Can we get another song from you?
Probably, yeah. Did I turn this down? Yeah, I did turn this down. That's why it was so low.
There we go.
All right, there we got sound. All right. This is another original. This is the second track off the album. I had this first line on this song going through my head for a while, and I was kind of sitting at home. I wasn't going out much. I was feeling kind of depressed and lonely and everything, and well, this song kind of grew out of it. It's called Ain't Got Nobody Blues. I ain't got... Oh, let's try that again. My baby, she let me here all alone. My baby, she let me here all alone. Put me out the streets, now I'm stuck here without a home. She couldn't stand my drinking, couldn't stand me popping all those pills. Stand my drinking, couldn't stand me popping all those pills. Couldn't stand my aches and pains, you know she couldn't stand all my ills. So I ain't got nobody, ain't got no one to share the news. I ain't got nobody, ain't got no one to share the news. I ain't got nobody, I got the ain't got nobody blues. I ain't got no family, I ain't got no friends, I ain't got nobody to see me through to the end. No, I ain't got nobody, ain't got no one to share the news. I ain't got nobody, I got the ain't got nobody blues. I ain't got nobody, I ain't got no one, I ain't got nobody when it's all said and done. No, I ain't got nobody, ain't got no one to share the news. I ain't got nobody, I got the ain't got nobody blues.
All right, Max B Greene here in the studio. He has a brand new record, Boxes Full of Blues, and a great showcase on Thursday night at Yellow Cab Tavern. You're listening to WUDR Dayton, rocking the Gem City, music in all directions, support your local music scene. I've got to ask Max, is there anyone using a guitar box guitar today that you think is just really inspirational or exciting?
Well, I already mentioned Shane Spiel. I've watched a lot of his videos. He's really good, and I find him very inspirational. There's another guy called C6 Steve, and he also plays cigar box guitars and hubcap guitars and just all sorts of bizarre things. They're all made pretty much on the same principle. They usually have 3 strings. Put a pickup on it, you got a guitar. But C6 Steve is really good. He's another one. There's a few other ones that are really good. Samantha Fish is a female guitarist.
I think she's phenomenal.
And she's really good. She also plays guitars. There's a young lady down from Middletown named Erin Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
And she is really
she's good. Yeah.
And she also plays cigar box guitars and other guitars. She seems to be leaning more towards the metal these days, which is fine. She's only 22, so she'll do whatever she wants to do. She's playing out. There's festivals all over the place, and there's one in New Orleans in January that she's headlining, and I may go down to try to see that.
Well, and that's something that when I started to do the reading, before you came in, working on the blog post about cigar box guitars, I was really surprised how many festivals there are.
There are
a ton of festivals devoted to this instrument.
Yeah. Now, most of them seem to be in the South.
Fair
Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Louisiana. The one I went to was in Pennsylvania. And York, Pennsylvania, and I think the reason it's there is because Shane Spiel lives in York, Pennsylvania.
There you go. You go.
And also, it was sponsored by CB Giddy, which is one of the cigar box guitars part suppliers, and they're also from the New England area. Whereas you have, and the ones in the South are sponsored by MGB Guitars. No, MGB. Yeah, MGB. Guitars. I have to be careful because my initials are MBG and his are MGB.
Anyway,
Anyway, I was originally going to call my guitar company MBG Guitars, and I kept getting emails for him, and so I dropped that name. But anyway, so all the ones in the South are from this company, sponsored by this company in Florida. And those are basically the 2 main companies that supply cigar boxes.
Oh, really? There's just a couple of companies that have parts?
There's another one called StuMac, but they are a luthier company. So you can buy parts, but they're not geared towards cigar box.
Right.
You can't buy like the 3-string tail pieces and stuff like that. You get the cigar box parts from these other 2 companies. And if you go online and Google cigar box parts, you'll find them. I'm not necessarily promoting. I buy from both of them.
Yeah.
So they're either one is fine. But yeah, they're all over. One of my dreams is to have a festival here in the Miami Valley somewhere.
Yeah, that would be so much fun.
It could be the Ohio Cigar Box Festival, because there's no other ones in Ohio. And there are tons of players. I know of a few builders in the area. At least 2 in the Dayton area, and there's that one down in Cincinnati and stuff. So we could probably get some interest. And there's tons of players,
I was just going to ask that. Do we have a lot of cigar box guitarists here in this area?
We're starting to get them. I was surprised by Todd the Fox. I needed people to play for this event. I needed one more, and so I put out the word on Facebook. I was looking for cigar box guitar players, and he was the only one that popped up. But luckily, he was, and he's really good.
Oh, he's a great guitar player.
And so I expect great things out of him on Thursday.
No pressure, Todd.
No pressure, Todd. But anyway, but yeah, I'm not sure. They seem to keep popping out of the woodworks.
Okay.
And they're getting, like I said, they're just getting more and more popular. And I'm, trying to spread the word myself and trying to put things up for sale. I think there's a guitar maker down on Front Street in the Front Street Art Complex.
Oh,
thing.
right.
I think there is this. Now I think he makes more than cigar box guitars, but I do think he makes cigar box guitars. I don't know his name. Sorry, can't.
Oh, no worries. I've got to ask the guitar you brought today.
Yeah.
What was it made out of? What is it made out of?
All right. This, I'll hold it up for the cameras here.
And I will have pictures on our blog and our social media after the show. But I mean, I just think it looks super cool.
This is a Arturo Fuente cigar box.
Okay.
And these are actually really, really cheap cigar boxes, but they make great guitars. Now this one, it is too big for a regular guitar. But it's barely big enough for a double neck. Unfortunately, it's a little bit thin, and so I had to do some bracing along the sides and stuff like that. The pickup is hidden underneath.
Oh, see, I was wondering that.
It's got a humbucker in there, but it's what's called ghosting.
Yes.
I ghosted the pickup,
yes.
and it's underneath. I've got two pickups underneath each lid.
Okay.
The sound holes are just for decoration. It doesn't sound like anything unplugged. It's basically an electric guitar.
Yeah.
And I use something called the water drop technique on this, which is
to get the visual effect.
Get the visual effect.
Okay.
Where you paint it, you paint it first with spray paint, and then you sprinkle water droplets on there. And then before those dry, from one direction you lightly spray white paint, and from the other direction you spray black paint. And what that does is it coats the water droplets, and then when they dry, it leaves the image, and it makes it look like there's three-dimensional water droplets.
It totally looks like it's wet.
It does, yeah. It's an awesome little technique. You can find all that on YouTube. That's how I found it. Water drop technique on YouTube, spray can technique. But yeah, this is one of my proudest achievements. The double neck. I've got it tuned to E, and I've got the other neck tuned to A, and I use that because I'll take it out to blues jams, and those are the two most common keys they play in. But normally, most cigar box guitars are tuned to G, and so if you get one, it'll normally be tuned to G, and 90% of the lessons are for a cigar box tuned to GDG, a regular open G tuning. Right. But like I said, there's no rules. You can put in whatever key you want. I just recently got a 4-string, two 4-strings. That was the toothpick guitar I was talking about. The guitar with frets made out of toothpicks. But it's a 4-string, and it plays. And the only difference there is it adds a third to the top.
Okay.
So it would be G, D, G, B.
Yeah.
And then you've got that major third in the open when you play it. However, you're stuck with the major third, and there are a lot of minor songs that I cannot play on it because it's stuck in a major key. And so, but it adds its own depth and everything, sound to it. And so it's just added to my repertoire. Now I've got to build a bunch of 4-strings, I guess.
There you go. If you are just tuning in, we are really fortunate to be talking to Max B Greene here on the program. He has a terrific new CD, Boxes Full of Blues, and a celebration of that music this Thursday, part of the Yellow Cab Showcase with Eric Henry, Casey Ott, Todd the Fox, Cigar Box Scott, 7:30 p.m. at Yellow Cab Tavern. Can we get one last song from you?
Yeah, sure.
Please, if I say pretty please.
Sure, let's see. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to do Dead Man's Hand. I actually wrote this song quite a while ago. This was on a previous CD that I did called My Head Broke Open. And this was the only blues song. Oh, you got it up there? Oh, you got my flyer up there. Yeah.
We believe in support, man.
I can tell. I really appreciate you having me on here.
Well, you are welcome anytime.
Anyway, I originally wrote it on a 6 string and an open D, and then I'm like trying to think of songs I can adapt to the 3 string. It's like, well, I wonder if this will work, and it did. So I recorded this. It's called Dead Man's Hand. Dead Man's Hand is the poker hand that Wild Bill Hickok was holding when he was killed. It's aces and eights with an unknown 5th card. Anyway, I decided to write a song about it. This is how it goes. Playing cards with the devil got me a dead man's hand. And a good dealer gonna play it the best I can. Gonna call his bluff, gonna make my final stand. Aces over 8s with the joker in the hole. Playing on the kitty with what's left of my soul. If I lose this one, then I'm bound for down below. Got a dead man's hand and a gun in my pocket. Stuck in no man's land with no way home. Ain't got no plan, no way to stop it, because I am all alone. Playing cards with the devil got me a dead man's hand. Took a long, dark road to get me to where I am. Gonna make my final stand. Got a dead man's hand and a gun in my pocket. Stuck in no man's land with no way home. Ain't got no plan, no way to stop it, because I am all alone.
B Greene here in the studio. So happy to have him here, but you know what would make all of us happy is if you go to the show this Thursday at Yellow Cab Tavern. It is a bunch of great guitar players, Casey Ott, Eric Henry, Todd the Fox, Cigar Box Scott, accompanying our good friend Max B Greene. Max, I really gotta say, I love the record, but I especially love the fact that you're keeping the artistry of the cigar box guitar alive. Thank you for that.
Sure thing.
And thanks for coming in.
Sure thing. Can I mention one more thing?
You can mention anything.
All right. Because I forgot this whole hour. You can find me at maxbgreene.com. That is the best way to find out about me, my upcoming shows and stuff like that. It's Greene is spelled like a county with an E on the end, although I should be redirected if you go with the other way. I'm also on Facebook and YouTube, but you'll find those links on my website. And also you will find links to download or buy my music. I am on iTunes and Apple Tunes and Spotify and Pandora, all those interweb things. I am on those, so you can find me all across the web. But yeah, maxbgreene.com is the best way to find out about me.
Well done. Thank you, Max. And we're clear.
Oh, yes.
Well done. There we go. We're clear.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Sure.